Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm Rudra and I'll be your host for today's session. Before we get started, I'd like to say a couple of instructions. All attendees will be on mute. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your control panel. We can discuss them at the end. Also, a recording of this session will be sent to all attendees in a week. Then also feel free to participate in the post-session survey. Now let's meet today's speakers. They'll introduce themselves, starting with Tejas.
Howdy, my name is Tejas. I'm based out of our Austin, Texas office, and I've been at Zoho for about 8 years now, I guess. And I'm technically a technology evangelist, which just means that I work on a bunch of the different developer products that Zoho makes, and I talk to customers, figure out what they want, what they're looking for, and work with the product teams to help deliver those.
Okay. Rex, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, Rudra. This is Rex here. I'm the product expert of Zoho Creator, and I'm here in Zoho for the last 3+ years. And I'm mainly doing day-to-day interaction with different customers, and I run through the business scopes, and I provide solutions for them. That's from my end.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the agenda for today and get started. So Tejas will tell us how a dashboard makes it easy to find and understand data, and he'll also show a overview of all the creator components in dashboards and reports. And then Rex will give a live demonstration of whatever Tejas covers. You can also keep posting your questions in the questions panel if you get some during the presentation. Now over to Tejas.
All right, thanks. I just am going to throw a quick poll out there for everybody. So you should get a little notification at the top of your screen about if you've built a dashboard and Creator already, just so I have a little bit of a baseline based on the type of content we'll show and how slow or fast to kind of take things. So it seems like we're pushing 50-50 split here pretty hard. 51% say yes and 49% say no. So pretty much about as close as a US election, I guess you could call it. Since it's half and half, I'll still cover the basics. As Rudra mentioned before, there's a questions tab and a chat tab. And so one thing kind of strongly recommend is if you have an actual question, it's best to put in the question tab because this way it won't get lost in all the chat messages that come in and out. And if you just want to add a comment or something about what's going on, then the chat tab is best to use there. So kind of just the differentiation between the two. So if you have a question about something we're showing or something's going too fast or something like that, questions is good. Otherwise, comments and commentary is best for the chats. But we'll have the team monitoring both of them and answering questions for you on those fronts. And so starting real quick before I got a couple slides to go through, and then we'll get right into the demo because that's going to be the most important and valuable piece of the session today. So a dashboard is basically a way to visualize a bunch of information on a single screen. And dashboards can be made of a bunch of different components. It doesn't really matter the type of components you put in there. They can have, a couple, all right, I went one too fast. This thing is clicking a little too quick here. Even my computer got a little antsy. All right, so I showed you a screen of a dashboard earlier, and here's another type of dashboard. And so at a basic level in Creator, when you're starting out, your dashboards are pretty much going to look like this. This is a drag and drop way, simple, no coding, no hard work involved. And that's going to be what we're kind of demoing. But ultimately, we want dashboards to kind of reach this next level of dashboards where this is actually something that is interesting, something you'd want to look at and shows a lot of information in context. You can see the playing positions is not just a list of records or anything like that. It's actually visual. And that's what we want to kind of strive for our dashboards to eventually get to. But in order to get here, you have to understand the basics first. And so that's going to be kind of what we're covering here during this session. Basically, if you saw the flicker of a screen real quick there, dashboards we want to be able to access from our mobile devices and from our laptops or desktops. And the way a dashboard is consumed on either of those two devices is going to be a little bit different based on the device you're using. So for example, if you're on your phone, you might not need to see all the information you would need to see on a desktop dashboard, for example, because you have smaller screen real estate and you want to only see the main pieces of information front and center and not everything otherwise. And so creating custom dashboards per device is extremely important and helps make that user experience a lot better for you, the developer, or for your team members that are using the applications themselves. And so when it comes to dashboards, dashboards are built off of a component called pages. And so a page is basically like a blank canvas that we can throw a bunch of different components on. We can throw reports on a page, we can throw forms on a page, we can throw charts on a page, we can throw custom buttons, and we can create HTML and all sorts of stuff. But a page is a blank canvas that we can use to design essentially dashboards, but any type of user interface. And so here we can see we're in the page builder here. So here's a screenshot of the page builder, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And it's basically got a couple components on the left-hand side, which I'll highlight right now, that get dragged over to the right-hand side. And you can organize them and drag and drop and shift the widths of them or the heights of them, the background colors, and all that stuff is kind of configurable, which we'll be showing in the demo. And so at a base level, the first thing I'm going to talk about is panels. And so panels are the first thing we see in the page builder. It's the first option in the top left corner. And when you open it up, you see a bunch of predefined panels and basically just templates we kind of give you to get started with. And each one of these templates, you can drag and drop over to the right-hand side and customize while you're building it. So every single component here, from the numbers to the text to the icon to the background color to the organization, all of that is customizable, and you can plug and play different pieces of information that you want to, which we'll be showing here. Now, when you drag and drop and configure this through the interface here, it's the easy way to go about it. And if you want to get into complex dashboards, like I mentioned before, that's going to be where this top code level comes in. So if you're just getting started with dashboards or you're not super familiar, then I wouldn't worry too much about this. But for the 50% of people that already said that they have built dashboards, they might be more advanced. You can plug into this ZML editor and you can edit the panel or any component you put on a page really to be a little bit more customizable. And so we have help decks on this that'll walk you through what all of it means. If this all looks like gibberish for you, don't worry about it. Stick with the design layer. But if you do kind of understand what's going on here, then the code layer is going to really open up a lot of possibilities for you to make something really powerful and really cool. And so the next thing we can throw on a page outside of a panel is going to be a chart. And so a chart is kind of like a report, if you will. A report kind of has a messy name where people assume a report could be visual or a report could be textual, but a chart is going to be 100% visual. So just imagine bar graphs, pie graphs, line graphs, stuff like that. And we can have those thrown onto pages. Additionally, so you drag and drop a component and then you'll configure it on the right-hand side using the X and Y axis and kind of plugging in whatever field values you want to, which we'll show later. Then you can insert different components in there. So a form or a report that you built normally can be thrown into a page just as it would be. So instead of having a single interface that only shows a form or only shows a report, now those two components can just be a small section of an overall page that someone is viewing. Then we can have something called snippets, and snippets are definitely more on the advanced side of things, where you can create your own widgets or panels, essentially. You can use HTML to throw in a lot more custom information, and you can create JavaScript web components, more complex things here. You're getting started, I wouldn't worry too much about this, but if you're a pro and you've been using this for a while, this is going to be really where a lot of the power comes from. And the last thing is a button, and as you can imagine, with any button, you click on a button and it does something. And that button can open any application component like a form or a report. It can execute functions like, updating a certain information or maybe sending it off to a third-party service. Basically, any delete function you run, you can execute it based on the click of a button, and you can naturally customize the display style of how it's going to look. And so the next thing is reports. And so reports, not to be confused with charts on pages, reports are going to be how data is visualized and have a lot of granular control in Creator. So chances are you've probably already built a report before. And by default, whenever you create a form in Creator, we give you a basic list report. And this list report by default looks like the bigger image here, where it's a bunch of rows of information that are organized, and you can pick and choose the columns you want. You can maybe add averages and totals and some calculations in there. But at a basic level, it kind of looks like a spreadsheet, if you will, just rows of data. But you can take this list report and you can customize it like the smaller screenshot here and throw in pictures, throw in some conditional formatting to make the colors different, and kind of provide some sort of hierarchy to the information that's being displayed. This way, if you're maybe like a car repair shop, you might want to see a picture of the car rather than the car make and model written out as text. It'll be easier to identify. So depending on the type of information you're working with, different types of report visualizations will help you see the important information quicker, and more importantly, make and work with it faster rather than having to dig through just text, which is it can get boring and not easy on the eyes. And then these different components can be customized, right? So each one of these little cards that we have in a report on a page or report on a mobile device, we can customize the look and feel of it. So we can make the pictures different sizes, we can rearrange them. But basically, it's a way to know that you can reorganize this entire card however you want to visualize whatever pieces of information you want here. And then inside of a report, when you're working on it, there's different actions you want to complete. And so these actions are just going to be how you interact with that record. And so by default, the actions we're kind of used to seeing are things like edit, delete, duplicate, maybe. Those are the three most common. But actions can also be custom actions too. So if you wrote a deluge function that sends this record to the billing service, then you could create an action where if you swipe something, it'll go send it to that service, or maybe a swipe will send a notification to a customer. And so we can just swipe a record to check it in. It'll mark the status as checked in, and I'll send a notification to the customer saying your car got checked in. So these actions will make it easy to interact with something rather than tapping on a record, clicking the edit button, finding the field you want to edit, changing the status, clicking save, and then the workflow being executed. These custom actions will make it a lot quicker to interact with these records and execute some sort of workflow or business logic that you want to have configured a lot quicker. Trucking along here, calendar reports. I think everybody should be fairly familiar with the calendar report. On the left-hand side, you can see what's actually a page that has a calendar report embedded inside of it, where you can see appointment calendar shows a week view of all the appointments that are there. And then there's a couple panels that are built on top of it that show the total number of appointments and the appointments that are today. And so these calendar reports, I mean, any event or any record that you create that has a date field can get plotted on a calendar. And inside this calendar report, we can drag and drop dates around. So if somebody says, hey, you know what, Aaron Michael, I'm going to bring my car in on Thursday instead of Wednesday, then I can just drag and drop it from Wednesday to Thursday and kind of interact with it that way. And then on mobile, naturally, there's some additional benefits of the way that calendar is kind of visualized, but just a way to deal with things that have a start and stop time. Kanban reports, these are pretty common if you use some project management software. Trello kind of made it pretty popular, but basically this is a way to kind of update statuses of things. Generally is probably the most common use case. Here we're using it for assignments. And so on the left-hand side, I can see the unassigned cars that have been brought into the shop. And on the right, I have two technicians, Roger and Larry. And I can see Larry has a lot more work to do than Roger. And so maybe I'm going to drag these cars and give them to Roger so he can work on them rather than just kind of slacking with just 3 cards here. And so it's a way to kind of assign things or update the status. Anything that basically has a drop-down field, you can apply as columns here to easily organize and shift them around visually so you know what the workload is like and how much you have to do in each different stage. Keeping on going, map reports, kind of similar to calendar reports. I feel like most people are pretty familiar with these. If you have an address field in a form that you've created, you can plot it on a map. You can have different types of pins. So here they're all blue, but if you wanted red pins for certain types of records or blue pins and purple pins, you can customize those icons and the colors and stuff like that. But it's a way to basically just plot a bunch of records on a map, and then on your phone, naturally you can get directions and it'll pop up in Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever you use, and easily navigate to wherever it is you need to go. After map reports, if this thing updates, is pivot charts. And so for people who are pretty familiar with Excel or just data analysis in general, pivot charts and pivot tables are going to be probably something you're really looking for. And so you can make pivot charts and tables here. And the difference between these pivot charts and the charts that I showed earlier on the pages screen is these are going to have a lot more customization options available. You're going to be able to granularly go in and make customizations to the type of data that's displayed and how it's going to look and feel, versus the charts on pages are a lot more, I call them simplistic in the sense that they're kind of plug and play, easy to go with. If you want to do a lot of customization and data analysis, then these pivot charts and pivot tables are going to be your best friend. But if you just need a simple chart that displays information that exists in your application, then the charts from a page itself is going to work for you. So that's a pivot chart, and then a pivot table. Naturally, you can create this and query whatever information you want to and have it displayed as a table instead. So with a quick recap, I know there's a lot of information and pretty quick that I went through, but I want to leave time for the demo. Is, there's a couple different report types on the left-hand side. What the purpose of each one of them is on the right-hand side. We'll share the slides, so don't worry too much about soaking this all in. But let's get to the main part of the presentation, is how are we actually going to build this dashboard? So I've got a couple screenshots here of what Rex is going to be going out and building. Here's a simple dashboard for a product company that shows some information at the top, probably sales numbers for different regions. as well as sales charts, a couple different kinds. You can see a pivot chart on the left-hand side, a pivot tape, or two pivot charts in the bottom, and then a little target bar type thing on the right-hand side. So we'll be building that out. And then there's another one that shows a chart on the left and then a report on the right that we'll see some interactions with and how it all kind of flows. And so slides are the boring part. The demo is the most important part. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to pass the control over to Rex, and I'm going to have him present his screen. So give me a quick second here while I take care of that. And in the meantime, we'll knock out a couple questions, I guess. The transcript of the Q&A also be shared. We won't share the transcript itself, but maybe we'll add a couple slides that show the popular questions and have the answers written on the slide, so you get a copy of them there. Martin asked about the Kanban report. Can we assign to both Roger and Larry? No, it's kind of more of a single type thing. So with a Kanban report, it only has one. It's a drop-down field and not a multi-select drop-down field, and so it has to go to one person or not. So just like a status might be, order received, shipment in progress, and delivered. It only can be in one status at a time. Same way for the Kanban report, it has to be assigned to one thing at a time. So those are a couple of the questions coming in. And Rex, once you get your screen shared, go ahead and pop it up on screen, and then let's stop talking. Alvin asked if we're going to look at ZML in this demo. We're not planning on looking for ZML stuff in this demo. Sorry, Alvin and Rolando. We have some help docs on ZML, and I think maybe we'll consider doing some more advanced type webinars like this that go over ZML and some of the more advanced functionality that people are probably looking for, that clearly you guys are looking for. And then could you share an app that has the advanced dashboard? I imagine you probably want to see it just so you can look at the code and understand how it works. I will try to get my hands on that and share it with you. Don't hold me to it, but let me find out where that screenshot came from, because it might have been built a little while ago. But I'll definitely try to find that and then include the code snippet or the DS file directly for you to access and kind of nose through. I'm not sure what's going on with my man Rex here, but I will keep just kind of rambling until we get the screen situation set up. Kishore asked, how can I add images to the dashboard like you showed at the Cricketer? You can easily use an HTML snippet for that. And so that's probably going to be the best way to do that. And it looks like we've got Rex locked and loaded here on the screen. If you can see Rex's screen, go ahead and type a yes maybe in the chat window. That'd be great. There you go. Thank you so much, fellas. And Rex is going, and I'll keep answering the questions in chat, and I'll chat the answers back to you guys as they come. But let's get to the demo, and I'll let Rex start. Rex, can you hear me?
Can you speak now? Yeah, we're able to hear. Okay.
Thank you, Tejas, for the detailed information about the reports and pages. So let me quickly share my screen. Hope everyone is able to see my screen now. Today, as we're going to see as a demonstration about Zilker Order Management app. And if any one of you have already attended the last two events or the webinar, you must have come across the forms and the workflows. So today we're going to more concentrate on the data visualization. So basically, data can be spread out in more meaningful way to make meaningful decisions, and creators got the key components, reports and pages to help you build into dashboards. So I'm going to quickly run through a couple of slides, then I'm going to jump fast into the demo app. So as Tejas was mentioning about the different components within the reports and pages. So today we're going to see exclusive on the reports and pages.
Rex, can you please close the sign and pop up on your screen? Yeah, cool. Okay.
So today we're going to see a couple of different types of report that we can create on top of Zoho Creator. let me take you to the application. So hope you're able to see my screen. This is the Zilko Order Management app, and this is a dashboard component. And on top of it, you are able to see the components of pages. There are different panels configured based on different region. And as I said earlier, the data are spread out in more meaningful way to make a proper decision. And you're able to see a couple of different pie charts. There are line charts, and you're able to see some bar charts. So I'm going to help you understand how to create all these different components on top of page using a drag and drop. Also, you can create more meaningful reports or a exhaustive report using the report component. So first, I want to help you understand about the page component here. Let me quickly jump into the edit mode of the app. Let me quickly go to the edit mode of the app. So as you see the page component, let me click on the add new icon and click on page. I'm going to create a quick new dashboard. Okay. So here is where you can see all the components that can be dropped on the page, and each and every one has got its exclusive details. So here you see the components like panels, charts, God charts. You can also have a search bar, universal search bar. You can also embed forms and reports. And as I said, like you can also have snippets. You can use HTML tags to bring out a lot of different UI patterns on top of page to have a similar look like a web page or website itself. And you can have a button configuration to redirect to different applications or different forms. That is also possible. Or we also have widgets to help you with integrate different third-party components on top of the creator, and it would redirect to the application. But now we're going to quickly see some of the components, the key components that is already created here. So the first thing I would like to show here is about the panel. So here you see this is all about online order management. Whenever there is an order that comes and takes up into the order form. So for example, here is the order form where the information would go in for specific orders. Okay, for example, I'm just gonna quickly fill in some details here. Okay, randomly. You can also auto populate some of the details based on the previous inputs. I'm gonna make some manual inputs here. This is a subform detail. I'm gonna add a couple of items, probably say like iPhone 10, some 10 quantities, and it's gonna calculate the value accordingly, and it's gonna pop up the subtotal according to the grand total we calculated. So all these informations are done through the workflow component, but now I'm just going to help you understand how the dashboard works. So right now I made an entry. There is an order coming in, and you can see all these orders under the all order report. This is basically a list report by default. For any form, Creator will by default have the list report. And here you can able to see all the orders, the unique order numbers, and the different customers, their respective email IDs, and the addresses, phone numbers, or whatsoever. Okay, so for example, let me jump back to the dashboard of the sales management dashboard to help you understand how we can easily configure a panel. Let me go to the edit mode of the app. I just need to drag and drop the panel on top of the page component. Here you see in the right hand side all the different parameters that I can configure across to this panel. So for now, I'm gonna quickly create a panel to say like the region-based sales. Okay, so here I'm gonna use some function. Okay, and I'm gonna use. I need to select the form from which I'm gonna take up all those data. So product sale is the form, and here I would take a category like quantity, or sorry, amount. I can take amount. Then I can click on the select records. So here I'm going to say the region is going to be so and so. So this is how we can just filter out the other regions too, and easily you can configure different panels for different regions. It'll be really easy for you to identify the informations in the dashboard. That's it. I just configured one of the panel. Let me throw some images here quickly. That's it. And you can also change the backgrounds and colors, but I'm not going to detail more on that. Having time is a concern. So that's it. I just close this one window, and right now there is a panel configured. Similarly, I can also drag and drop multiple panels and configure different data on top of that. Okay, so I have two different panels. One is a live data, another one is a dummy panel. Let me click on top right corner of the done button. Let me click on the access application to see the real live data based on the value. So for example, if you see here, the label here is not being modified. That can also be modified by clicking on edit this application. Let me go to the panel, and there is a label configuration that you can do it quickly. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a couple of charts getting configured, which can be easily configured on top of the page. Let me change this to America. Okay, that's it. And I can also have different background images here, like how you see it here in this panel. That is also possible. I can have different images sorted out there. Okay, and here is the live data. You see for the particular panel, it's configured for America. You will be able to see. And whenever there is added data coming into the order management, this data would go live and this would be managed accordingly. Let me quickly jump into another report. Right here, you see the sale contribution by product. You can also change these chart type basically by clicking this icon where you see on top here. Either you can go for a semi-pie, accordingly it would transfer and have the respective data, or you can go for a pie chart. You'll be having those ones. But now I'm going to help you understand how we can create one such informative pie chart. Okay, so for that, let me go to the report section. Let me go to the report section and create one from the scratch quickly. It's not going to take more than 60 seconds. Let me go back to this add new icon on top there and click on the reports. And from here, I need to select the pivot chart basically. And from there, I need to select from which form I'm going to collect all the information. Okay, so here the form name would be the product sales. Okay, and name of the product, and name of the report would be something like a sales contribution. Probably I will name it as new for now, because we already have, okay, there is already some data. There is already a report with the same name. Let me click on create report. And now it would land me to the report builder. It's a very easy thing. You can just drag and drop it to the respective columns within this setup, and it's gonna give you the most profound data. Okay, you're gonna visualize the data in such a way. So for example, now I'm gonna have the product name in the x-axis, okay? And I'm gonna have the actual value, not the count. Let me have the actual value itself. And in the y-axis, I'm not gonna have anything about, but I need some certain colors for the product name to be visualized in a more in a respective format. So what I do is I would just drag and drop the product name into the text. Also, I can color it accordingly. Let me click on this, click generate. Right now it is generated. Okay, so this is how easy it is. You can create a pie chart and you will be able to see all the necessary details about the sales orders and the certain contributions that has been made by different products across the inventory, or even the different sale that has been made. Okay, so here let me click on access application. So I created an exclusive report, and the next part, I basically have embedded this report on top of this page component, which I'll come to a point later. But now I just want to help you understand creating different kinds of report. So if you see here, monthly sales by product, this also you can change the chart types like stack charts. You see, like this will be more informative, even like you can change it according to your convenience, however you want to see this data to be. So if you're convenient with a stack chart, you can go with stack chart, or if you're convenient with a bubble chart, so you can choose different bubble chart type. So here you will be able to identify the month is over here on the x-axis, and the different contribution on the sale is on the y-axis. So you'll be able to see with the defined colors. For example, the blue color says about Joy Alucars is one of a product under the category of jewelry. And one more thing, if you click on this bubble and click on underlying data, it would give you all the definite details about the particular informative or the record or the sale. Okay, this happens for every other reports too. And let me jump into this category sales by region. So here you see the contribution that has been made by different regions. This is again one of our bar chart, but it is again stacked based on different components like the category based. and also the contribution is made on the region wise. So the total sales contribution based on different category of the products, and here you see the bifurcation is done based on the region. So different colors mean different region, and the contribution made according to different category. And here you see it is about the sales target, and this is more profound for any sales people on the field or in the administration. They'll be able to see how much they have reached the target so far and what is being to be achieved yet. So I'm going to help you understand how this can be configured. Let me go back to the edit mode of the app. Let me click on edit this application, and let me jump into the page component by clicking on this plus icon. Or I have existing dashboard. Let me go to the dashboard, new dashboard which I created now. Let me click on open page builder, and here there are different elements as I said earlier, like we have in the page component. So let me use the gauge now. Okay, so here are different gauge types that you able to visualize. I'm going to use this particular one which I already used in my existing Zilko order management. So here I'm going to configure it in such a way that the target will be visible, and the people can make enough decision to reach the particular target. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the sum of it. Okay, I'm going to say I'm going to bring it from the particular chart form, or I would say the form basically. Okay, the product sales, and I'm going to say about the amount. I'm going to select these are the field that is available in the respective form. Right now I have selected the form name product sales, and I have selected the amount field. And you can also put certain categories by selecting records. For example, if you want to select based on category, and you want to you want to visualize the target based on the category of the product, that is still possible by selecting the category, but we're not going to do that now. We're going to have the entire show with all the records, and here I'm going to fix a maximum value, some random numbers, and I'm going to fix again a target based on the maximum value. Okay, and I can change the colors and targets, the target colors, the fonts, and all these things can be adjusted in the style properties. But let's go into the proper details now. Let me click on top right corner, done, and access application. You are able to see now about the targets. Yeah, for some of us, like the numbers are really, really worrying, but yes, we are heading towards achieving so many numbers here. Yeah, probably this can be a number for the whole year or for the month as per the management. So here you can configure either a target based on this year wise, or you can also configure monthly wise. So that is up to the management. Yeah, here you can able to see another chart, another report. Basically, this is again a pivot chart where you're able to see city-wise contribution. So there are a couple of cities that has been configured here based on the sale orders received. This chart has been developed. So Berlin city, the contribution is around $6 lakh, and Chennai is in topping. It's one of the states in India, and also Paris and Toronto consecutively, like respectively. So this is one of a bar chart type, and here you see again about a product sales and quantity based on a category. So this is one type of another chart, but I'm going to explain you how this works, overall sales by category, because you can able to see the dips and ups in this very particular report. Okay, so let's jump into this one. Let me quickly get into the edit mode of the application. Let me click on dashboard new and click on edit this application at top right corner. Okay, I'm going to create it using the exclusive pivot chart. For that, let me click on plus icon at the top from the menu, then choose the report, then the pivot chart. So here I'm going to select the product sale, okay, and I'm going to create a category report, okay, using the pivot chart. So I'm just going to name it category new and click on create report. Okay, so here all I need to do is like I want to just select the categories and subcategories or the product names accordingly. Basically, I want to get some dashboard similar to this, what you see in this in my existing dashboard. So it's going to be overall sales by the category. Okay, that's how it has been defined here. So let me get into the report builder. Okay, where I am in the pivot chart. So I'm gonna drag and drop the X and Y accordingly. So I have the month and year, basically the different months here in the XY axis. Basically that's a date field, and also the amount field in the y-axis. So I'm going to prepare such a way that I'm going to drag and drop the date field on the x-axis, and here I can basically configure accordingly based on the year or quarter month or month accordingly. I'm going to choose a month basically, and as you see here, the y-axis has got the total amount which I can retrieve it from the amount field. Okay, so here you have it all in the x and y-axis respectively, and click on the graph, and I would get a similar one like this. This is a line chart where you see on different months and accordingly the different the values that you see in the y-axis. It has been partitioned in such a way. Okay, but we are not done with that. Let me go back to the original dashboard. So here I have the category in place. So let me also place the category accordingly. So I'm going to place a category in the colors, or probably I can also put it in the text field, which will also help me understand the different components here. Okay, hope this is informative to you to create some line charts similar to this. Okay, also you can change the parameters from actual values to different counts by clicking on these different components within the parameters. This is the text parameter where you'll be able to see the different category counts or the number of sales that has been done accordingly. Okay, so hope this one helps. Let me also jump into the different dashboard here, where I have one more dashboard, which is the accounts dashboard. Here you can able to see a pivot table. So basically, this pivot table, what you're seeing here, is helping to understand the different categories of products on the left-hand side. Okay, and the total amount that has been so far sold out, and the number of quantities been sold out on different categories. So we're gonna quickly create a pivot table, not a pivot chart this time. So let me go back to the report component. Click on done. We click plus icon. So here I'm gonna create a pivot component. Okay. So let me choose report. Let me choose report pivot table. Okay. Then from there, I'm gonna select the product sales. I'm gonna say I'm gonna create a pivot. Okay. Pivot table. That's it. Yeah. Then click on create report. So once that is done, like I just need to drag and drop the columns accordingly. So here I'm going to have a column something similar to the x-axis. I'm going to drop according to the fields that I have it here. So basically, I'm going to put the column as product name. Okay, drag and drop the product name and the column. And the row can have a category basically. Okay, let me drag and drop the category. So both are in the actual parameters, and I'm going to drag and drop under the data the amount field. Basically, I'm going to sum up all this information under the data. Okay, and I can also have the quantity accordingly. So let me also drag and drop the quantity field on the data, and let me click and create generate a report. So here you can able to see within a snapshot, you can just create a super detail about all these different different products and the sale that has been done accordingly. And also you can have a final summary about the total sales and the total quantity of the different products. Okay, so once we create this report, it will be easy for us to embed it on top of the dashboard. I'm going to quickly embed this report on top of dashboard. So that is my next agenda. Okay, so let me go back to the dashboard quickly. So here I'm going to select the dashboard new. From here, I'm going to jump into the page builder. It automatically is landing to the page builder. Okay, and the left hand side, you'll be able to see all the page components. So here you see a report component. Okay, I'm going to click on the report, and I'm going to select the report which we have created just now. That is a pivot table. Okay, let me click on pivot table and drag and drop it on top of the page component. That's it. So once you're done with that, like you'll be able to see all these different informations, basically the different data spread out, and having a single view. And you can create multiple dashboards for different departments within your organization. Accordingly, they'll be able to visualize the certain data. You'll be able to see the information accordingly. So this is how we can easily embed a report on top of a page. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to help you understand about a quick thing by creating a map report. So basically, you can also visualize and see about your spreading out your customers. You can try to figure out where your customers are across the globe. So I'm going to help you understand how this can be possible. Let me go back to edit this application, and I'm going to quickly create a map report based on the customer form. Here I have the report component, and the next thing I need to choose is the map. Then based on the form called customer, okay, I'm gonna create a report. I have an address field in the customer form, okay, and I'm gonna give a simple name to this report called map report. Okay, that's it, and there it goes. Let me also configure a few more customization in this. Basically, I can do a lot of customization on the different region level, like just to identify people from different places. So for that, I can add a custom style to the map report. Basically, I'm just going to color this pin based on different region. So I'm going to select the records. Here I'm going to do based on country, or I'm going to do based on regions. Okay, let me put it based on country. I'll put India. Okay, so I can also do multiple criteria here. Let me give a name to this pin and click on apply. I can also change the color of the name. I'm not going to spend much time on that. And you can also customize the radius in miles or in kilometers accordingly. You can also change those informations here. Let me click on top right corner done and click on access application. That's it. So once you are done with that, you'll be able to see your customer is somewhere lying down here, and his name is Kuda Jungle, whatever. And you also have different types of map reports. You can either have a satellite format, or you can have a basic format, or you can also jump into a straight format. So all these informations are available. You can easily contribute to details to the map report. Okay, so that is one part. And next thing, I want to help you understand how we can come up with a list report with all these information about having averages and total. What you see here as a summary. For example, if you click on this particular list report, you'll be able to get the total of all the average and summary. I'm going to help you understand how that works. Let me jump quickly into this orders. From there, I'm able to help you understand how to quickly build that. Okay. So just bear with me. All product sales. Okay. So this is a list report which was embedded on top of the page component, and you can also quickly have the summary of the entire sales and the average sale data here. So I'm going to just quickly help you understand how this is totally possible. Let me click on edit this application. Right now we are the report, one of the reports, and it will land to the report properties, where I'm going to click on configure fields of web, and here, if I select the field called amount, in the right hand side, you'll be able to see the different parameters that can be enabled for the field called amount. So if they can have a total, an average, and if you also want to have a minimum value and a maximum value, you just need to enable accordingly. Okay, and just close the window. I'm going to access the application in live, and you have all the data in one stretch. If you see here by region wise, all these informations are grouped. Okay. And also, if you see here under the show summary, if I click on the show summary, you'll be able to see the minimum value, minimum order, the maximum order, the average, and the total. Okay, so that is one part of it. I'm also going to help you understand how to create a Kanban report so quick enough. Just stay with me here for another few more minutes. Let me click on edit this application at top right corner, and let me click on this add new icon. I'll click on the report component and choose the report type called Kanban. Okay, from here, I'm going to select the proper form name called order, where I have all the different status. Okay, I'm going to select the field name called order status. Based on that, I'm going to create a Kanban report. Okay, so here you'll be able to just see how it has been quickly created. You can also do a lot of conditional formatting in the configure fields for web by changing different colors and terminologies accordingly. For example, if I click on this order number, okay, and here, if I click on the style and click on configure, you basically can put some color codes based on the different status of the orders. For example, here I'm going to select a status here, order status, and I'm going to select it accordingly, a new order. All new orders are all ready for delivery will be in a different colors fonts. Okay, So I'm just gonna give a quick name to this, whatever. Okay, forgive me for my spelling checks. Okay, that's it. So you're done with the configuration of a Kanban report, and click on Access Application. And in the meantime, I'm also going to help you understand how this may look like in the mobile. So you are now able to see a Kanban report, and this reports can also be embedded on top of the page component on this dashboard, right? So this is almost here. Let me quickly connect to my mobile and show you how this may look like in the mobile device, okay? So you're able to see my screen here. I'm just jumping into the particular application, okay, where we have this Kanban report. This is a silk order management that you're seeing on top of my screen. Hope you're able to see my screen. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly jump into that order Kanban report. So here is where the order delivery status is. This is one of the Kanban report type. So if you want to change the status, like for any of the users of different departments want to change the status because they know the particular order has been delivered, they can just drag and drop it under the certain, certain status. So it's easily can be done. Just a matter of choosing and moving it, pointing to the different status. So this is how it works. And I also want to give you a quick view on how this application would look like in the mobile view. So this is how it looks. You can just open up the order management, your order management app, and you can be able to see the sales management dashboard with different data spread out in a more meaningful way. You can see the pie charts. You can also change the chart types accordingly. Maybe if you want to go for a funnel type, you can just choose a funnel type accordingly. The data would proportionate. Okay, and you're also seeing this line charts. As I said earlier, you can change the different data types. I also quickly want to show the map report, which is already embedded on top of the page component. Here is where the map report would look like when it is configured on top of the page. And these are different types of maps you will be able to see based on the sale volume. You'll be able to identify the different bubble size in the map. And also this particular report is based on the city-wide sale. Okay, I'm almost through with this. Thank you for staying with me, though it is a little extended. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you found this webinar useful, and don't forget to leave your feedback in the survey. Thank you.